Wall Street warp speed brings home the hit to big tech stocks expected from antitrust regulation. The reality is, any antitrust judgment against Alphabet's Google business on the basis of monopolistic practices is years, if not even a decade away. Stories like the one Tim Higgins wrote for the Wall Street Journal, Apple's booming services business could be hit in Google antitrust battle, are entirely based on hypothesis. Higgins quotes no less an expert on Apple stock than Tony Saganaki of Bernstein. Quote, there's a risk, if you play it out, that there actually could be more financial impact to Apple than there is for Google. End of quote. Higgins reports Saganaki quantifies the risk. Quote, if the deal with Google were to be eliminated entirely, end of quote, at 20%. With the pandemic of 2020 in a new, quote, raging, end of quote, mode, and the U.S. election still 8 days out, at the time this video script was written, big Wall Street traders wanted to make fiction into fact. During the pre-market of Monday, October 25, 2020, Apple flirted with its 50-day moving average at 113.50. And as of today, with an announcement from Pfizer that they have 90% success with their vaccine sample, that same Apple stock has moved up almost $10 a share, almost 10%. And I'll talk about that in a couple of moments. The technical measure, moving average convergence divergence, MACD, was near zero back then. Alphabet stock, in sharp contrast, was holding up very well, thank you. If you smell fish, you aren't alone. The work of fiction the big Wall Street traders are working on is all about Apple, and in reality, little if at all about Alphabet. Wall Street traders like to play dominoes. Amazon is another big tech business in the crosshairs of antitrust regulators. Facebook stock has been pummeled for a while, but as the following chart shows, movement in Amazon's stock price over the calendar year from October 25, 2019 to October 25th of this year has closely followed Apple's. If Wall Street traders are moving at warp speed on the antitrust news, and actually warp speed isn't the correct term, they're actually moving on vaporware, because that antitrust isn't going to come down for decades. And the heavy move today, the enormous move to the upside, is also vaporware. And as Nassim Taleb has mentioned, if you want to get used to Wall Street, get used to Extremistan versus Mediocristan. And I'll talk about that in another video. But Extremistan, Wall Street is definitely a world of Extremistan. If Wall Street traders are moving at warp speed on the antitrust news, we need to keep in mind they are also fickle. Trader sentiment, if the word sentiment can be applied to Wall Street trader trends, can change in a, quote, New York minute, end of quote. Anyone owning Apple stock who can enjoy a time horizon of, say, a year or more might want to hang in there. Tony Saganaki's worst case scenario is just that. Given the very deep cash pile Alphabet lays claim to and the benefits they are enjoying from their deal with Apple, it isn't likely the whole deal will be thrown out the window by regulators when the case finally reaches a conclusion in, let's say, as late a date as 2030. By then, the team in Cupertino can be counted on for sure to come up with new services to fill the gap. And again, this video script was written back on the 25th of October, and we've now moved forward almost 2 weeks. But the same story is historically important, and that is to get used to vaporware moving Wall Street substantially. My name is Ira Michael Blonder. I'm the founder and CEO of IMB Enterprises, Inc. Please visit our webpage, www.imbeenterprises.com. Please also visit my personal Twitter page at Mike the Bebop. And our company is an advisory firm. We work with C-suite at early stage enterprise software businesses on the important points from a sales and marketing perspective that should be at the forefront of attention. but I'm also an investor and interested in investments, and I do talk about that as well. Talk to you tomorrow.